Hello everyone, today I will be showing you this set I did on myself. I will start by using this double-sided nipper that I bought from the American Beauty Show. One side is 1/2 inch, the other side is 1/4. And if I'm correct, I'm using the 1/2 inch for the bigger stones, and I will use the 1/4 for the small ones, or just go with it, whatever feels easier to pull off. I do not reuse the crystals. It's just something I don't like to do. I just take them off and throw them away and put a fresh new set of crystals on. But there are people that like to clip them a lot nicer than I'm clipping them and like to save them and reuse them for their clients. I really don't. I feel like they're already paying for them, so why not just give them a fresh new set? Now you will see me check any lifting. I press the free edge down to make sure there's no lifting in any nails. It does happen, and especially for me because I work on other clients, so I always have my nails chipped, messed up, or something happens to them. But I am nipping off any lifting just so when I do apply the new acrylic on top, it would be smooth. There'll be no air bubbles in between. There'll be no chances of me getting any water in there or anything like that. Now I'll be using my nail file with my round edge nail bits, and I love this one because you don't hit the cuticle, and if you do, you don't hurt them or make them bleed or anything like that, so it's easier to work with for myself, especially on my own hands. It's a lot easier. I do want to buy a more harsh nail bit, so something that has more coarse to it. This one, if I'm correct, is a medium, the green, but the coarse one is either a blue or a black, but I definitely do want to buy a coarser one, at least for myself. I don't have patience for my own nails, but I love doing other people's nails. Now I will be using my ceramic cuticle nail bits that I got from AliExpress. I will put the link down below. I am using this nail bit just to make sure I get off any lifting I didn't get with my cuticle nipper, or just anything that's sticking out, any dry skin around the acrylic. I want to make sure I get it off as much as possible so that I do not get any lifting when I put the new product on there as well. Another way I use this cuticle nail bit is to take off any skin behind my nails. It's something I personally have. I am not trying to grow my nails, so I don't mind if I take a few layers off of my nail underneath. I do not do this for clients. I usually just, if there's any acrylic that's sticking out, I will fix it, but I do not dig into their skin or their nails. This is something I do because the skin behind my nails grows up with my nails. Now using my straight cuticle pusher that I also got from the beauty show downtown in Chicago. This is one of my favorite cuticle pushers. I feel like it just pushes everything back and it helps so much and it saves me so much time. So what I normally do is I push the cuticles back on clients, and then I use the edge of my nail file as you've seen on previous videos, and I push back and clean off the nail plate. That is the safest way to do it. Doing my own nails, I use the cuticle nail bit that I have been using on my own nails. It's easier for me instead of sitting there filing, trying to figure it out. It's faster. Like I said, I do things differently on my own hands than I do on clients. I am a lot safer, neater, a lot more careful with clients. Something very important about this type of nail bit is if you hold it on an angle towards your nails, you're gonna dig a hole and you're gonna go through layers of your own nail. So you always want to hold it as flat as possible, but still be able to see what you're doing. And as you can see, I'm only taking off the dead cuticle on my nail plate. I am not pushing towards the cuticle. I am not on top of the eponychium, which is what's called the cuticle that's live, you know, the skin to cut into it. I am not anywhere near that. It's all dry cuticle on my nail plate that I am removing. I only use this on myself, and if I have to, on clients whose cuticles are extremely needed. But honestly, I rarely use this. I have maybe a handful of clients I use it on. I am very careful, do it very slow, lay it flat, just go once around, and that's all you need. You do not want to get too close to the skin because you can cut them, or you can shred her whole entire eponychium, which will look pretty bad. Now I will be using my 100 grit file. This is what I use for acrylics. Since it is a lot more coarse, it's easier to file down instead of sitting there for minutes trying to file it down. And I always check every single finger to make sure that they balance each other out and are even as possible. And I check the sidewalls, I check the free edge, and I check the top of the nail to make sure it's where I want it to be. The monomer I'll be using is from Young Nails. It's so far my favorite. I fell in love with it, and I am using my own acrylic mixes. This is beautiful glitter and this solid pink color, which is the same pink I have on my nails. ASP Prep Clean Dehydrator on every single nail. Since I already have the exact same pink, I'm just going to go with it. I will also be using Protein Bond from Young Nails. It is definitely my favorite primer. I've tried different kinds. My second favorite would be, I would think, OPI and Mia Secrets. But other than that, this one, just there's rarely any lifting. They last so long and it adheres perfectly. I will be adding my glitter mix to my thumbnail, which had a previous glitter. Just easier to cover up, and I always like to have something kind of glitter on my thumb for some reason. After I'm done with this, I will encapsulate it in clear. I usually always encapsulate my glitters, sometimes my colors, depending how light or dark they are. I will be using the same exact pink that I had previously, and I would just do a full nail. I would do this pink on my index finger, my pinky, and my third finger. For my second finger, I did a full glitter nail. I didn't capture it because I was off camera, but I also didn't show the last three fingers, just a little bit of the pinky. I didn't notice I was off camera till after I had recorded this, but that's exactly what I did on the nail, a full glitter nail. After the acrylic dried, I buffed the nails, brushed off any extra powder on there, and I will be top coating them. I also filed any sidewalls or free edge that were not perfect. I will top coat the pinky and every single nail. This one that I'm top coating now, you can still see the glitter, but that is not a problem because I will be doing a holographic powder on top, so it will not make a difference. I will be using E-Nail Couture Unicorn Charm. This is a holographic powder. I will be putting it on top of a no wipe top coat. and I just rub it in with one of the makeup sponges that I have, as even as possible. Make sure I got the free edge, the sidewalls. And then after this, I will be top coating it. But I specifically use a top coat for all my chrome powders and all my pigments and all my glitters. I use one single top coat for all that, just so I don't contaminate it. And when I do use a clear top coat on a solid color, see, I mark it red so I know that's it. When I use a solid color and I put the top coat on top, I won't have any shimmers, glitters, or anything extra on there. I will be dusting off any extra powder in there. I use this extremely soft makeup brush that I got from AliExpress. You do not want to use a stiff brush because you will mark it or leave streaks in there, and that does not look pretty. So just make sure it's an extremely fine nail duster, nail brush that you can use. And I will top coat it one more time, then put the hollow on top of that once I cure it. I just like to do it twice. I feel like it gets the hollow more out there, and if you just do one, it's a little bit more dull, but that's just preference. I always do it twice. Now I will top coat it to fully secure it and seal it. This nail is complete, just as well as the other ones, and I will start applying my Swarovski crystals in different sizes. These are the crystals I will be using. I will just be using any nail glue, it's fine. What I do is I buff the nail after I top coat it and cure it. For some reason, I feel like when I buff the nail, it gives better adhesion with the glue, so the crystals just stick on and don't come off unless I take them off. And I use this wax pencil I got from AliExpress to pick up my crystals. So I apply the glue wherever I need it. I do not fully apply the entire glue unless I know that I can work fast before it dries. But I do use glue that lasts longer to dry, so I can be able to move my crystals. But since these are bigger crystals, I put the glue everywhere I need it to be, and I just started applying them. Anytime the glue dries or I just need more glue in different areas, I just go on and add a little bit more and keep adding crystals till I'm satisfied with the look. On my pinky finger, I only do one side at a time because it will be dry by the time I get to the other side. These are smaller crystals and I need a little bit more, so they will take a little bit more time. When I put crystals in my own fingers, I always, as you can see, I tilt my finger just to make sure that I have it as parallel as possible. When I have a client, it's a lot easier to keep track of that and notice that. Now I'll be using my no wipe top coat. As you can see, I'm pushing the top coat towards the crystals to make sure I secure them as much as I possibly can without getting any clear top coat on top of it. I will be using my nail art brush that you see it here. I will be dipping it into the brush of the top coat. Since the brush is a lot thinner, I can get around the cuticle area and make sure I get enough top coat around the crystals and the rest of the nail to make sure it adheres as much as possible. Every time I do different crystal design, it all depends where I would put the top coat, but I always want to make sure I surround the top coats. I don't want to drench them in the top coat so they don't look like they're floating on top. I just put a little bit to make sure I secure them in there. Same with this design, I used the bigger brush just to make sure I get most of the nail, and then I will use my nail art brush around the cuticle. I went off camera and I did not capture this. I'm sorry about that. I don't realize this usually after I do it, since the camera is so much higher than I am. I don't really notice it. this is how my nails turned out. I hope you like them. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Comment below if there's anything specific you want to see. I'll be more than happy to try any new nail trends or any nail arts. Just let me know. Thank you for watching.